Wake up, wake up, wake up. I'm Sunshine Brains with All Hustle and Hope Your Radio Show, and you're watching The Breakfast Club on URTV. Let's go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Black Forex Group. I am Sunshine Rains. I am one of our lead trainers here with Black Forex and Stock Traders, and I am here today to show you one of the ways that I secure my bag. I get the bag. I've been trading now for about a year. Yay, me. I've lasted a year. And it's a wonderful, wonderful skill to have. Not only is it an amazing skill to have, but it's fundamental. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned so much about myself learning this skill, as well as increasing my profits and being able to be a trader and make my own time doing the things that I love to do. So today I am going to show you guys one of the ways that I secure the bag, that I get the bag. And I like sticking with certain pairs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my chart. I'm going to show you a basic way to find support and resistance. Okay. Support and resistance is basically, like, I like to call it respect. And I'll show you a little bit more about that, but it's just a way on the charts to find, like, if you're riding on a bus, it's almost like telling you the different destinations you can make it to safely. That's a good way of putting it, right? Another thing that I'm going to show you while I'm here also is how I mark up my charts easily so that I'm able to look at a glance as to what the chart is doing. And I like to do something with my 50 EMA, and I look for it on different time frames so that it kind of lets me know what the market might be doing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And you can see it right here. Here's everything. Right now, what I'm looking at is the New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen, JPY. Okay. And as you can see right here, I already have my indicators on here that I like to use. The red indicator and the blue indicator are EMAs. And then the white indicator is also an EMA as well. But that one is a special one. It's called the 50. All right. And the 50 just basically means that is 50 days worth of information from the candles. Okay. So I personally, as a trader, I like to trade on the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart. Those are the charts that I trade on. And then the 30, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the 1 day charts are the charts that I use to determine my analysis for the trades. So I'm looking at those charts on the higher time frame to see what I think the trade could possibly be doing in the future, or to let me know, hey, you know what? I don't think I want to stay in this trade no more. I think it's reversing on me. The trend is changing, different things like that. So I'm going to show you how I go through, I mark up. Yeah, okay. I'm going to show you how I go through, I mark up my charts, and I basically find what's going on so I can determine whether I want to get in for a buy, whether I want to get in for a sale, how far I want to go. Do I want to go 10 pips and dip? Do I think I can make 20 or 30 pips? Or do I think this is something I need to get out of because the trend has changed and it's no longer working in my favor? All right. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and here we are, we have this chart. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look on the highest time frame, which is the day chart. Okay. And on the day chart, yeah, that looks like a whole bunch of kerfuffle, huh? On the day chart, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the trend of the trade. So I'm looking for higher highs and lower lows, meaning, let's see, let's look on this chart right here. So looking at this chart, aha, all right, look at that. She's pretty, right? So right here with this chart, we can tell that this chart is going in a buy direction at the moment. How can I tell this is in a buy? I can tell this is in a buy because I have higher highs and higher lows, meaning that this high right here is lower than this high, but this high is higher than this one. Let me see if I can find a better way of saying this. I have this high right here. You see right here? It's higher than this previous high. This high right here is higher than this previous high. This high right here is still higher than this previous high. My lows are higher lows, meaning Here's a low. Here's the next low, but this low is higher than this one. This low is higher than this one. This low is higher than this one. So this gives me an indication that this trend is a upward trend or a bullish market. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my trusty trend line, and I'm going to create a line to show me what that looks like. And what I'm doing is I'm going to place them. And after I place them, I'm going to edit them to find out where they're working in the trend. And basically what I'm looking for is areas where price action or price respects this line. So right here, we can pull this back a little bit. Looks like price is respecting it a little bit more there. I can even continue this line down just to give me a little bit more data. I am like a scientist. I love data. The more data I can get, the better, right? Now, because price is going to continue to move up or down or sideways if it's in consolidation, I need to give myself more room so that I can understand what's going on in the future or where the trend might move. Because the trend's not going to move all over the board, right? It's going to pretty much stay in this certain area unless the trend changes for a bearish market or a downtrend. So we're just going to extend this line out some there. And then here on this side, we're going to do the same thing. So like it came out a little bit there, came out a little bit there. So I'm going to give this line a little bit more respect and pull it like right around here. Okay. And it's okay if some of them come out. It happens sometimes. But this is more of the respect that the line is giving, right? We're going to just extend this all the way out. And now I have a trend to work in, meaning I have an area that I can work in, that I can say, okay, for the most part, I believe that price is going to stay in this area. If it moves out of this area, now I have to look at it differently and reanalyze my market, reanalyze my trades, right? And so you see it's pulling back a little bit right here. That's okay. I believe that it probably will jump back in. But if it doesn't, I'm going to look at it a little bit differently, right? We're going to reanalyze it. So now we're also going to go on a lower time frame and just make sure it still looks the same. Now, of course, the trade looks a little bit different. It's not going straight up. All right. We're still respecting there. Look at that. See how the trend moves within that area now? See? I've got an area to work in. Now, what I like to do is I like to come on my 30-minute and my 15-minute chart, and I like to find my floors and my ceilings, or my support and resistance, or my respect. That's what I call it, okay? I like to call it respect because I'm looking for where price comes, respects a certain area. It'll either bounce off of it and come back down, or if it's a ceiling, it'll bounce off of it and come down. If it's a floor, it'll hit off of it and bounce back up, okay? Also, I am very color coded. I don't know if that's because I'm a hairstylist and I see things in colors, but I'm very organized in how I do everything. So my trend is always going to be done on a 4-hour or 1-hour chart. And that line is always going to be in white. And you can do whatever color you want. But for me, I know on any chart that I look at, if I see a white line, that is my trend line. And it's letting me know that I need to be aware that this is either a bullish or a bearish market, and I need to pay attention to that, right? So my 30-minute, I like to use yellow because I like to think of it as caution. And I'm just going to come up here, and instead of finding a trend line, I'm going to find a horizontal line. I like the horizontal line because it continues throughout the continuation of the chart. So it doesn't matter how far back in the chart I go that I'm trying to analyze in the past, or that the chart continues to move forward, my line will never go away. But if you use a ray, let me move you out the way for a second. Let me see, make sure I'm saying it right. Yep. If you use a horizontal ray, it has a beginning and then it continues on. So I like to use the horizontal line. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to work from the bottom to the top and find out where there is resistance. So the first set of resistance I see is right in this area right here. Y'all see that? And then I need to make this line yellow. There we go. That's a yellow line. And I can always open the chart up a little bit more so I can see my candles better. And then I can also adjust my line to where I think it needs to be. There we go. So there's one. And let's keep going. We're going to keep going. The next set of resistance is here. And the beautiful thing about resistance is as I'm moving throughout the chart, whether I'm going forward or backwards, I should see where the respect is no matter what. So even though I'm placing the line here, if I go back, I don't know, a couple days, couple months, I can still see where that line, see, it respects there. Nope, I didn't want to move that. Go back. Thank you. Right up in here, see that? It respects on the bottom and on the top. Coming up, it respected as a ceiling. Up here, when it was coming down, it respected as a floor. It's respect as a floor. So we're going to keep going. Got another little respect up in here. And people ask me all the time, am I looking for the wicks of the candles? Am I looking for the body of the candle? And for me, it's a little bit of both. Different traders will trade differently. Some say they use the respect of the wicks. Some say they only use the body of the candle. I'm kind of looking in between, you know. I'm just a little bit in between. I'm not all the way a candle lady and I'm not all the way a wick. And we're just going to keep moving up and opening up the chart more and more so I can see these candles a little better. And here's some more respect. Place my line there. We're going to keep moving. And as I move back, I can see where I'm accurate. And we're going to keep going up. Here's the next level of respect. I like my lines to be about, I'm looking for about 30 to 40 pips in between. Or if I'm on an indice, then I'm looking for about 30 points or so as this area that I work in right here. All right, got to jump right there. And then this looks like a nice little level of resistance that we're working with. See that? And look at that. That's actually a confirmation for me because my 50 ran along that line. And right there, there's indecision. So that lets me know that's a good line. I'm in a good place right there. Let me keep going. And it looks like this is going to be the next level of resistance there. And let's keep going back in the chart. All right, and it looks like this is coming into its high. All right, everything is coming back down. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we got a little bit of info right here. Look at that. Bow. I've already placed that line. You see that right there? That resistance just touched the line, and I placed that line way up there. So that gives me more confirmation that what I'm doing is correct. See? Bow. We've got a peak, and it hit. All right. And I think that's going back far enough. So we're just going to go ahead and move forward some more. And we're going to go to where price is. So this is where price action is actually right now. And then actually, I'm going to go ahead and place some of these lines below as well. So I know what's going on down here. I like to just have some information. Again, all data is good data. We'll put this right here. And actually, let's pull you up a little bit because that's where it is. All right. So now we have some good information on the board. And I can see my ceilings and floors very well. And what does this information mean for me? This information means that when price is moving and I'm trying to determine where I want to get into the trade, I can say to myself, well, you know what? I don't know if I believe that this is going to go in this direction yet. So what I want to do is I'm not going to get into the trade until after it breaks over this point or until it breaks below this point, right? And for me, I am more prone to doing pending orders. I don't do a lot of market executions because half the time I'm so busy with my radio show, being a mom, being a wife, being an entrepreneur, that I have to learn a way. I had to learn a way to trade on my schedule. And for me, pending orders work best. I can sit down at my computer or I can pull up TradingView on my phone and I can look at my charts because they're already marked up and they're saved. And I can look at my chart at a glance and say, okay, I see where price is. And let me determine if it does this in the future, I want to get into this trade and I want to take my profit here. And I'm using all of this information that I've already put on the board on the chart to let me know what's up. So this is my 30-minute chart. We're going to go down to the 15-minute chart, and I'm just going to go through and double check my lines, maybe tighten them up, add a couple more lines if I feel like I need to. Let me move this one more time so that I can get my trusty measuring tool. So like right here, let's just measure and see how big of a space this is. Oh yeah, this is wide. Let me see. That's right at about 65. That's almost 70 pips. So that's really a big area for me, and I don't like that. So we're going to go ahead and get some more floors and ceilings in here. We're going to put some resistance right there and just kind of break that up just a little bit. There we go. And let's see how accurate that is. Bow. There's a confirmation. It came down right there. Respect that line. Yes, it broke through here, but it's showing respect across this line. Bam. That's a nice confirmation. Look at that. Look at that. So that lets me know that line is in a good place. Let's keep moving. We got a big gap right here. I don't like that gap. Let's close this off. That's just too much space for me. So we're going to close that off and we're going to give this a little bit more respect in there. Bow and just go back, and we back test for confirmation. Depending on who you are, I know some people who back test for years. They can go back a year or two and back test just to see if what they're looking at or what they're trying to determine is accurate. So don't be afraid to, just keep moving back. Look at that. Ooh, that's beautiful confirmation. Top and bottom. My floor looks good and my ceiling looks good. Nice confirmations. Let's keep going. Yes, yes. This is a little bit of a big space right here. Let's see what this space is. We've got, yeah, that's almost 60 pips as well. So that's a little bit of a big space. I want to go ahead and edit that as well. I need a little bit more. Ooh, there's a nice little area that can give me some confirmation. Let's use that. That's too high. I don't like that. Bow. It's a little bit better. Let's just, bam, there we go. Back testing works. That's a nice confirmation for me. And so now that we have our ceilings and our floors on the board, we'll go back to the higher time frame and get a better idea of what this looks like. There we go. I've heard this called a Fibonacci. It's so many different things you can do with a blank chart, but the main thing is that you want to give yourself something visual that you can say, okay, this is where I am and this is where I want to go. And let's just open this up and see what the pippage is between here. So like between here and here, that's 30 pips. That's a good little pip area. Let's see. Between here and here, 30, 40 pips. Okay, I'm looking good right here. I'm looking good. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. So now the next thing that I would like to do is I want to find out where my 50 is on each time frame. The reason why I like to know where my 50 is because the 50 acts as a magnet, okay? It either pulls price to it or it pushes price off of it. Okay. It's a bouncer. It's almost like security in the club. If you want to keep going, you got to make it through this 50. But knowing where the 50 is on different time frames has helped me figure out, okay, well, look, I'm in this trade and it's going a little south on me, and I need to determine if I want to get out. But it's running and I need to know where I think it's going to run to. So I know that on the higher time frames, here's my 50. It's quite possible it's going to run to this area. Or I use the 50 as a way to know if there's no resistance above price, price is going to run in a buy. There's nothing stopping it from moving it's nothing stopping it from getting in the club. It's just going to run through, right? If all the resistance is above price, then the trade is going to fall because there's nothing stopping it. There's no floor to stop it. Okay. So what we're going to do, how I do that is I look for my 50s and I put them on white lines as well. Right. And I also use the horizontal line. So we find the 50, here it is right here, and I'm just going to place the line right there. I'm going to change the color to white, and then I'm going to come over here to my text and my coordinates, and I'm going to tell myself what this is. So this is the 4 hour. I'm going to say okay, and I like to tell it to go to the right because when it's in the center or the left, you can sometimes lose it. So I always tell it to go to the right, and there it is. And this is telling me that, wait, I need to change that color. You should be white. Bow. That's telling me that that line is the 4 hour 50. So I'm going to come over here to my day chart and I'm going to find my day 50. Here it is. Bow. There it is. And we're going to go ahead and edit this right here. And this is the 1 day. We're going to say, okay. We're going to come down to the 1 hour chart. And, ooh, look at that. So there. We got the 1 hour and the 4 hour really close to each other. You see that? And let's add, this is the 1 hour. I'm going to say okay to that. Let's go on the 30-minute chart and place it. Let's put this is the 30-minute. Say okay. And 15-minute chart. It's right there. Now this is actually a really great all right. This is actually a really great chart to show you because this is showing you exactly what I was saying. So right now, all of the resistance is pretty much in the same area right here, right? But look, here's price. This line right here, this dotted line right here, this line is price. But all of our resistance, here's our 15, our 30, our 1 hour, and our 4 hour. It's all above price right now. So looking at my chart, I have to make a determination or an analysis of what I think this is going to do. If all of the resistance is above it, I'm looking at this as a sale and not just a little sale, but I believe this might fall. Okay. With it falling, I already know that on the higher time frame, this is in a buy momentum. So I'm going to watch this to see if it falls out of my trend. If it falls out of my trend and it starts making lower lows, now I know not only is this in a sale, but the trend has changed, and now it's probably in a bearish market. Okay, which means I'm not going to go after a lot of buys. I'm going to go after more sales compared to going after more buys, which gives me more accuracy, right? Like this is a 6.5 trillion market a day. The market is going to go up and down constantly. But if you decide to get in the market when it's kind of high and it's in a seller's market and you're trying to go higher, and the trade falls, you're never going to make it back up to your trade unless you're willing to hold it for it to make it back there, because you have enough money in your account to withstand the pullback. And there's a difference between a trend change and a pullback. And that's what this helps us do, right? This is what this helps us determine. I'm looking at this chart on different times to determine, okay, is this going to turn around? Is it not going to turn around? Is this something I want to stay in? Is this something I want to get out of? And I'm using all of my indicators together, as well as my chart markup, to determine what I want to do. And that's how I do my accuracy. It's actually like riding a bike, right? You have to be able to steer. You have to be able to pedal your momentum. You have to be able to balance. You have to do all of these things all at one time. And once you're doing all of them at one time, then it's kind of effortless, right? So if we're looking at this as a whole together, we're on the day chart. There was just a cross right here. You see that cross? The red crossed over the blue. And looking at my candles, shout out to the pit master. He is the candle whisperer, and I'm learning so much more about candles from him. This is a flat top candle. This is a flat top candle. And we know that flat candles indicate it's almost like a confirmation. The market definitely knew it wanted to sell, compared to having a doji candle where there's more indecision. The market had to determine, it had to pull, it went both ways. This market did not go both ways. This is selling down, right? And this is a nice, thick, long candle. Not only that, but this candle encompassed this other candle, right? So that's a real nice indication that this is going to be a sale. Right now, we have another candle, and it opened up lower. It opened up lower than this candle right here. And this candle isn't going to be finished for another 19 hours. Okay? Because this is on a day chart, that means each candle represents 24 hours. Okay? So this candle has another 19 hours to work. Do I believe this candle can move down some more? Yes, I do. So that helps me determine on my lower time frames what I would want to do. Looking at this chart, I wouldn't take a lot of buys, because on the day chart, this is going in a seller's direction, right? So let's look at it right here. On the 4-hour chart, yes, these are smaller candles, but look at that. It's a nice little fall. It crossed here and it's come down. And let's see, let's look at our nice little measuring tool, and from where we have a cross to where it is now, it's already made it down 75 pips, 89 pips at its lowest. It's a nice little indication. I like that. I like that. So what we're going to do is, if I was determining if I wanted to get into this trade tonight, because I do a lot of my trading at night and early in the morning. So I look for my setups around 10:30-ish. And I know that a lot of those trades that I'm going to get into, they're not going to activate for a couple of hours. They usually don't activate until Tokyo session. And I'll usually hold my trades until London session or until after London session, because that gives them the chance to do their work, right? So looking at this trade right here, and look, we can even add another line, right? Because this is a lot of space in there. Let's go in here and look for, that needs to be yellow because this is a trend line. And let's just see where the respect is before we keep going. Let's make sure that's a nice area. Yep. Look, that's a nice little confirmation. We could pull it down just a little bit. Let's see. Ooh, bow, that hit it nicely and bounced off of it. You see that? All right, so this is giving me good vibes. This is giving me real good vibes. So now, looking at this, if I was going to take this for a sale, I know I have to this yellow line to go. I don't have to look. I can try to make it to this yellow line, right? But all profits are good profits, right? So even if it doesn't make it, I'm going to secure my bag. So between here and here, that's 24 pips from price action to the next level of resistance. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take 10 pips and dip. I'm going to go for 10 pips. Get in, get out, get my money, keep it moving. Reanalyze the market, determine what I think it's doing, and then try to get back in again. That's all I'm doing, you guys. It's simple as pie. It's ABC 1, 2, 3. It's a lot of colors. And I didn't even look at the numbers over here. Everything I did had to do with this chart and looking at the charts. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, as Ooh, I didn't mean to move you. Go back. It's a beautiful thing, as Dr. LA says. And looking at it, let's see, looking at it on a whole, this gives me just information as to where this trend is moving. Now, yes, it will pull out a little bit, but I'm going to be very cautious because the trend is in a bearish market. I mean, a bullish market. It's still in a buy trend. So even though this pulled out and pulled down just like it did here, it has a chance to bounce back in. So I'm going to be cautious and watch. And that's where my resistance comes in, because this moves throughout the day. These resistance line move throughout the day. And as it moves, I just move it with it. So when I go to the day chart, if this line is somewhere else, like let's say it's up here, I'll just take this and move it to wherever that point is at that time. And I do that before I get into a new trade. Before I get into a new trade, I have to go through and edit all of my 50s so I can know what's going on with the trade. And it just gives me better confirmation. It gives me better accuracy. And my goal is always to get about 8 out of 10 trades. And right now I'm doing really good with that. And I'll show you one of my pairs. Another thing that I do as well is I stick to a certain amount of pairs and a certain amount of indices. I do not trade just all across the board, because then I can't learn my pair. When it comes to my pairs, another indicator that I use is the RSI. I know the high and the low for each pair in the RSI, whereas there's a neutral high and low. Like we know that the neutral is 50. We know that it's overbought at 70 and it's oversold at 30. But that's not true for all pairs. That's not true. Some pairs can make it way outside that 70 and they can make it way outside of that 30. And so I always like to know where that is on my chart, and I plot my charts for that. But let's go look at one of my favorites, which is NAS 100. Please do not be afraid of my chart, because I mark her up, and I've been marking up NAS now for about 6 months. So I have a lot of information on NAS, as you can see. See, I have a lot of information on NAS. So it doesn't really matter where she moves coming down. I already have information. For me, the new markups come as NAS is reaching these higher highs, because that's what she's doing right now. So what I'll do is I'll show you how I mark up, how I look at my chart when it's fresh. So as you can see right here, we have the day chart, and I need to move that. Here's my 1 day 50 line. This is where it was the last time I looked at NAS. So I'm just going to move it up to right here. That's where it is now. And we're going to move up a little bit more. And so these are my previous 4 hour, 15 minute, 30, and 1 hour. So let's go to the 4 hour chart, and that has moved. So we're going to adjust it. We're going to go to the 1 hour chart. There's the 1 hour. It's pretty much in the same place. You see that? It hasn't really moved that much. 30-minute chart. Here she is right here. 15-minute chart. There she is right there. And I don't do the 5-minute chart. You can, I just don't. Now look at this. This gives us a little bit more information. Looking at this, one, all of the resistance is right here in this area. And you can tell that that had an effect on price because look, it was in indecision. It rolled across that 50, right? And then it broke out. And when it broke out, it has started to fall. Look at that. You got a little bit of fall right there. And look at that. It came, it respected my line right there. It respected that yellow line, that previous one did. And then it bounced off and it's coming back up. And look, let's see how many pips we could have got just by knowing that we were watching that resistance. That's 38 points, which would be 380 pips. And at $1 a pip, that's 380 bucks. How would I have determined what this was going to do? Because this could have went either way. It could have bust through and went up, or it could have bust through and went down. So I would have set a pending order for a buy stop and a sell stop. And I just would have set that order below my resistance. So I might have set it in here somewhere. And then I would have set one above my resistance as well. And I would have took 10 pips and dip. And if I would have set my resistance, or if I would have set my pending order for where this turquoise line is right here and took it 10 pips, I made my money. Just that easy. And at a 0.01 lot size on NAS, 10 pips would have made me $10. At a 0.02 lot size on NAS, 10 pips would have made me 20 bucks. And that's how I make my money, you guys. I'm just getting in and out of trades. And I'm just going through my charts and looking to determine where my resistance is and where I can get in and get out safely by what's going on with the charts. It's very simple. It's easy peasy. And it's so easy that I've taught my 10-year-old how to do it. And we just go move around these lines. 1 hour chart. Let's move this right here to the 1 hour chart. 4 hour chart. Look at that. It hasn't even moved. 1 day chart. I know. Look at that. There's the 1 day. And it's riding my line over here too, which is, oh, I didn't want you to move. Go back. Awesome. And so looking at this on the higher time frame, you can see right here, this is actually a trade I'm waiting for. And it almost hit a couple of times. You see that? And be perfectly honest with you, I should have just took my money there and got out of the trade, and I could have got it twice. I could have took my money there, secured the bag, and then waited, did it again, got my money here, and look, it's coming back again. All of my resistance is right here. And if it just goes ahead and busts through that resistance, I'm going to get paid. So I'm holding my trade. So if there was pullback, like I'm going to show you on